come on. It's too hot, bro. Wow. If there's one thing that we're as passionate as we are about cars, it is food. And that is also the one thing that we have missed. Of course, it's not like my wife is not feeding me, she's a damn good cook, but it's the one thing that we've missed on our road trips, sampling the variety of foods that you get to discover when you're driving through India. And that is what we are doing differently this time round. We are going to be driving through all the states of the country, but we are going to be stopping and sampling the food that is unique and particular to each state. Like the misal pav here in Maharashtra. Of course, you need a solid constitution to consume this for breakfast. It is a spicy curry that you have with sprouts and farsan. And of course, any Indian breakfast is incomplete without carbs. So, misal pav in Maharashtra. Next, we're heading to central India, to Indore, and then going north, and then finally ending up with the south and back in Maharashtra. We're going to be driving our two Renault Kigers and discovering the foods of India on 28 states, 28 plates.
The first state we were hitting after Maharashtra was Madhya Pradesh and the city of Indore, which has a bustling street food culture.
The first evening of our food trail drive, we are going to be hitting the Chappan Bazaar. That's behind me, and it's supposed to be really famous. Some really good food. Indoris, they love their food. It is a pedestrian-only street, so cars are going to be parked and we are walking in. One of the most famous shops out here is Johnny Hot Dog, where they have something called the mutton hot dog, which is basically a mutton patty in a nice fried bread, because Indian food, so carbs, you got to load up on carbs. Oh, it's spicy also. This is not exactly a food destination on 28 states, 28 places, but if you are a petrol head driving through central India, you have to visit this. This is the National Automotive Test Tracks, NATRAX, and it is the new center of excellence for Indian automotive testing. And we are at the crown jewel. This high-speed track is the 5th largest in the world and the largest in Asia and China. 11.3 kilometers long. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 lanes wide, 2 massive bankings. The transitions onto the bankings, you cannot even feel it. It is so smooth. This is the absolute world-class facility right here in India. And after a day testing the Renault Kigers, the canteen serves a very hearty lunch.
With Madhya Pradesh behind us, we set our sights on Ahmedabad in Gujarat, looking forward to the famous Gujarati thali.
So when you're in Ahmedabad, you have to dig into a Gujarati thali. This is at Gordon Thal, which is supposed to be quite famous here. A lot of you guys have told us to come and eat here, so that's why we also have a friend of Evo who has come with us out here. You got 2 sweet dishes. You obviously end with the sweet dish, but we start with the sweet dish. So 2 sweet dishes, 4 sabjis, vegetable bhajis. You have dal, kadhi, chapati, rice will come later, puri, chutney, salad, a chaat basket. But everybody says this Mohan Tal, which is the sweet dish, is supposed to be quite good. So we'll start with that. Also, I'm not really a food blogger, so I can't tell you the detailed intricacies of all this. This is dokla and all of that. But it is a really wholesome meal. We've done multiple pan-India drives with Renault cars. In the past, we have done it with the Duster, then with the Kwid, then with the Triber, and now with the Kiger. And the one thing that really stands out is that these Renault cars are just so suitable to our Indian conditions. Now, of course, all the cars have different strengths, and in terms of the Kiger, their big strength is, of course, the way it looks. It just turns so many heads on the roads, and a lot of y'all have been posting pictures of us on your social media when we pass by you, whether it's on the highway or on the city. And this is unmistakable and it is unmissable, especially with all the livery that we've got going on both the Quids, and with this bright blue shade. It is a very attractive looking car. We've been looking at these cars for a few days now, and even then when we park it in the night, we turn back and look at it once again. Now, styling is obviously one part, but the other thing is the way it drives. It actually gives you a lot of confidence here on the highway. Now, this is an SUV and it has got really good ground clearance. In a lot of places, because of the rains, the roads are broken, there are a lot of speed breakers, a few potholes that you hit, and this can take it all in its stride. Also, it's got a nice SUV driving position, so you're sitting higher up and you got a great view of the road ahead. The visibility is very good, and it is a very easy car to drive. It makes 98 bhp, 160 Newton meters of torque, and it's the torque that makes driving on the highways quick and easy, and also effortless. I must also point out the creature comforts on the Kiger. Now, you get wireless CarPlay, and I really like that because it removes all the messy cables that are lying around and cleans up the dashboard. Then there is the digital cluster. Now, this is the nicest looking digital cluster in this class, very nicely styled, and it has multiple drive modes also. Seat tires are our partners on this drive, and we've got the OE size tires on it, Secura Drive tires on 16-inch rims. We've also been driving it in the rain, so all kinds of weather, all kinds of conditions, and the tires have provided great stability and they've complemented the chassis. There's also not much in the way of tire noise, good braking performance even in the wet, and you can swallow miles easily, munch miles really.
From Gujarat, our next stop was Udaipur in Rajasthan, and we were staying at the wonderful Aurika by Lemon Tree Hotels.
Things might be open, but we still have to be super careful and very cautious. And that's why we have partnered up with Lemon Tree Hotels as the hospitality partner for 28 states, 28 plates. We've been staying with Lemon Tree Hotels ever since the pandemic started, and they've taken really good care of us. Their Rest Assured program, in partnership with Diversity, make sure that the rooms are clean, safe, sanitized, and we've had really good experiences with Lemon Tree Hotels. Plus, Lemon Tree Hotels do have some really nice properties like the Aurika here in Udaipur, and that's why we've hustled. We've gotten here for lunch so that we can spend a lovely evening chilling in this beautiful place and then dig into some really good and authentic Rajasthani food. In Rajasthan, you live like a king and you eat also like a king. This is the Rajasthani thali. It starts with the lal mas. It's something that, my mouth is watering actually. It's something that every meat eater comes to Rajasthan to dig into. Then you have the chicken, the murka shweta. You have the jeera rice, the palak, the dal, the Burma mirch ki kadhi. Then you have the gatta curry. You have the bati, which is unique to Rajasthan, dahi, and you have the rotis to go with it. This is the makke ki roti. You also have the bajra ki roti. And man, I'm going to dig into this. Your mouth is watering, can't even talk.
Now, something that Sirish has not spoken to you about is the comfort and the space in the Kiger. He's not the only one on this drive. We're 7 of us on this drive. That means the back seats are getting used, and they're getting used a lot. Comfort, it's very, very good. You've got a lot of space in the back seat of the Kiger. In terms of knee room, extremely good. In terms of headroom as well, you've got plenty of space. I'm 5'10" and I'm very comfortable at the back over here. What's also very nice is the fact that the floor is completely flat. So there's no transmission tunnel here. The driver's seat is actually mounted fairly high up. So my feet have a lot of room. I can tuck them underneath the driver's seat, and I've got a good amount of support on the thighs as well. I can't be sure, but I suspect that the Kiger is the most spacious car in this class. And that's great on a long drive like this when we will be spending a lot of time in the boot. The Kiger also has a really large boot. We've got a ton of stuff packed into the boot of these Kigers. We've got our clothes. Some of us are here for 40 days, so we've got really big suitcases. We've got our camera equipment, and we've even got 100 kmph merchandise to give out to our fans who are meeting us along the way on the drive. And the Kiger, it's swallowed it all. It actually has the largest boot in this compact SUV segment, and it shows. Now you must be wondering what this little device is here. This is the Noveris Protect 200, and it's a device that's been brought and imported to India by Trivector Biomed. It essentially disinfects the air in a closed space. Now, it has a technology called NanoStrike, and what NanoStrike is, well, I'll be honest with you, it goes way over my head. But in simple terms, it sucks in air from this vent over here. It runs it through a system that destroys the RNA and the DNA of these viruses and bacteria in the air, and it blows it out from this top vent over here. It was actually pretty easy to hook up to the Kiger. This has a regular 3-point plug, and we've connected to a DC AC converter that's stored in the center console, which is also very spacious, of the Kiger. That's something we carry on all our drives because it allows us to charge all of our camera equipment, our batteries on the go. And this thing is mounted here with zip ties and a bit of rope. And for extra safety, we've got this little plank of wood, which we slot in here so that in case there's an emergency braking situation, there's no way that this can get dislodged and fly in the front.
From Udaipur, it was an arrow straight highway north towards Jaipur and then Delhi.
We're a little more than halfway between Udaipur and Jaipur, and we stopped at a town called Byawar for lunch. Actually, not in Byawar, but on the highway at a dhaba called Sri Ganesh Bhojanalay. What's for lunch? Well, dal, bati, that's the Rajasthani speciality. And this particular dhaba specializes in the lacha paratha. So we asked for one lacha paratha, and they've given us this giant paratha, which should suffice for 4 people, along with some tomato save sabzi. It all looks very delicious. I'm just going to dig right in and see what it's like. Wow, look, it's really good. They told me it's their speciality. Got a little bit of jeera in it, and along with the spicy sabji, it's really, really tasty. Nice, crispy, flavorful. And the dal bati churma, that's a whole meal in itself. And you've got to crush the bati, mix it with the dal, and really dig in with your hands. And that's how you have to enjoy this. Day 7 of the 28 states, 28 days drive, and we don't have too much driving today. We're driving Jaipur to Delhi. It's about 5.5 hours long, but I'm really excited about the food today. Delhi has some incredible food culture, and I think we're going to eat some kebabs, butter chicken. I don't even know what else. I just can't wait to find out. Now, we're in a place called Have More, which claims to have the best butter chicken in the city. They actually have a board outside claiming that. But I'll take that with a pinch of salt because the next restaurant also has the exact same board outside their restaurant. What is butter chicken? It's essentially tandoori chicken in a tomatoey, creamy gravy, and it's really, really tasty. It's a dish that was actually created by accident, but it's become an iconic meal. It's of course had with butter naan. Let me just dig into it, have a bite. Okay, I don't know if it's the best in Delhi, but this is the best I've ever had. It's got a tangy sweetness to it, very rich, very flavorful. You're gonna have to take the camera away because I need to eat some of this.
While in Delhi, we also made a quick pit stop at the Renault India head office.
So the sporty, smart, stunning Kigers are out on the 28 states, 28 plates food trail across India. And I think this is the right time to check the Indianness of Kigers, because those are the ones that are going through all kinds of terrains in the kind of weather that we are seeing across India. The monsoons are at their best and the roads the way they are. So best time to check out the Kigers as they move across India on this specific food trails, 28 states, 28 plates.
We also caught up with the president of Lemon Tree Hotels, Mr. Vikramjit Singh, before we left the city.
Tripping with Lemon Tree was an idea which came to us right after the first lockdown ended. People had been locked up for weeks together. They were all raring to go. That sense of adventure was driving them out. we tied up with Ivo, Sirish and his team to make people travel across the length and breadth of India. With our 80 hotels across 50 cities, there was a clean, safe, hygienic lemon tree everywhere. Wherever you went, whatever road trip you undertook, there was lemon tree waiting to welcome you. This initiative has taken off in a very big way. We've been partners now for the last 15 months and we want to take it to the next level. Whenever you travel, stay in a safe, clean environment of a lemon tree hotel in our 80 plus hotels across 50 cities, and use the code below and get a fabulous 20% discount every time you book on lemontreehotels.com.
So Sirish and Atish have taken you guys through Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat and Rajasthan, and now they've handed the mantle over to me. Hi guys, I'm Karan Singh and I'm from this part of the country up north, and now we're heading to Delhi. From Delhi we'll be going through to Haryana and then further up north to states like Punjab, Himachal, Uttarakhand, all the states up north, and then further down to northeast. Now I'll be with you guys till Guwahati, and I really can't wait to taste some of the great food that the country has to offer. The Zilman Dhaba is a popular stop for people travelling further up north from cities like Delhi, since it is located on the highway. It is a popular breakfast spot, so we've ordered some breakfast staples like this paneer paratha here. Of course, lots of butter is a must.
After a heavy lunch from Zilmil in Haryana, we travelled to Punjab via NH44 and headed straight for dinner in Chandigarh.
We are here in Chandigarh and we are at the famous Pal Dhaba. In fact, it's so famous that the walls are filled with pictures of celebrities that have eaten here. Now this place is famous for its mutton curry, and we are going to find out if it lives up to its hype. That has to be some of the best mutton curry I've ever had.
The next morning, we headed to Jammu. The city of Jammu is actually fairly crowded, but it is known for its rich culture and of course, an exquisite cuisine.
We are here in Jammu and Kashmir, and now we know that Jammu and Kashmir isn't really a state anymore, but it is a union territory, and we couldn't really do a food drive about India without tasting the unique taste of this region. Now we're starting off with something known as Kaladi kulcha. Now the kulcha itself isn't really unique to this region, but the cheese inside it, the cottage cheese, is from this region. It's cooked at home on a tawa, and it's supposed to taste really good inside this flatbread, so we'll just take a quick bite. It tastes really good. You're actually supposed to have it with a chutney, but the cheese itself is very nice. It's almost like paneer, but a little bit softer, and tastes really nice with this bread.
We left from Jammu, ate some dal vadas on our way out, and then headed to Himachal Pradesh. After climbing through some lovely roads and stopping for plenty of pictures, we then headed to Mcleodganj, the highest and perhaps the most scenic point on our 28 states 28 plates drive.
Today we are in Himachal Pradesh, more specifically we are in Mcleodganj. And now this area is famous for its Tibetan cuisine. Why Tibetan? Well, because in 1959 the current Dalai Lama actually fled from Tibet and came down here and settled here. That also meant that a lot of Tibetans followed. Now the result of that is some really authentic Tibetan cuisine. Two such dishes that we're having today out of all of these is the shatag. Now this is a meat stir fry. Along with it is the tingmo, which is a soft steamed bun. So we'll just take a quick bite. This is really nice. The closest dish I can relate it to is like chili chicken that you get in most parts of India, but it's a lot toned down. It's a lot more toned down and a lot more flavorful. Very, very nice.
We left Himachal Pradesh the next day and then headed to Dehradun through some spectacular scenery. The roads and the vistas in these parts could have easily been taken from a painting. Once we left the hills behind, we joined a smooth highway leading us almost all the way to our destination.
Hi guys, so we are here in Uttarakhand and we're at the Red Fox Hotel in Dehradun. Now here at the Red Fox Hotel, Chef Surendra has prepared us a thali taking each of the unique flavors that are around the Uttarakhand region.
From Dehradun, we headed back towards the capital city and then took the brilliant Agra-Lucknow expressway all the way to Lucknow.
Hi guys, so we are here in Lucknow and here we were met by two friends of Evo India and actually two of the sweetest people, Abhinav and Pranjal, and they told us that if you could eat only one meal in Lucknow, it had to be Tunde Kababi's Galauti Kebab. Now the history of Galauti Kebab is that there was a king around the 17th century who was aging and he lost his teeth but he still wanted to enjoy some kebabs. The result is a kebab that really melts in your mouth.
From the city of Nawabs, we then headed to Muzaffarpur, a very dense city in the heart of Bihar.
We are now here in Bihar and we're actually eating a meal that's actually born out of Bihar. Now this is litti and choka. Litti are these dough balls that are stuffed with sattu and flavored with herbs and spices. And what we have along with it is choka, which is a mash of brinjal, tomatoes, onions and a lot of other herbs and spices to make it really flavorful. So let's take a quick bite and find out what it's like. And the ingredients are really fresh. There's a lot of crunch from the garlic, but what really stands out is the mustard. It's so strong. I can understand how this could really be a full meal in itself. It's really heavy also on the stomach, but very, very nice.
From the congested city of Muzaffarpur, we headed to Sikkim. The route took us through some wide highways, small towns, tea estates and winding mountain roads with some seriously challenging terrain. Once in Gangtok, we took our Renault Kigers for some tender love and care and then headed to the MG Marg before stopping for lunch at the local cafe, which brings together local and international flavors.
We are doing Italian, but we have given twist to a very strong local touch to it. Tibetan bread. It is, of course, the name suggests it's a Tibetan version of bread, roti, or we call it phale. Since we wanted to do something unique, so this is maybe the first time in India which we have launched it. So it is we call it Tibetan bread sandwich.
Hi guys, so we are here in Sikkim and we're in the capital city of Gangtok and we're eating at the local cafe. Now the local cafe is actually known for its fusion of Sikkim food and actually international flavors. Two prime examples of that is this Tibetan bread sandwich. Now it's a regular chicken sandwich, but it's wrapped in Tibetan bread which is similar to roti but just a little fatter. The other more unique thing is something known as laughing. Now this is actually extracted from maida, it's gluten-free and it's wrapped in chicken, and Tenzing, the person who heads the local cafe here, tells me it's really, really spicy. So let's try that. The noodles are actually very soft, they melt in your mouth, and the chicken, does have quite a lot of spice to it. Really, really unique. And Tenzing also tells me that it's very healthy, so it's the best of both worlds.
After Sikkim, we headed down through the east of India, down to the south and finally all the way back around to reach our home base of Pune. Catch all that and more in part 2 of our 28 states, 28 plates drive, dropping very soon on the Evo India YouTube channel.